In this video, I will be packaging K-Lite Code Pack installation executable file into MSI file using WiX. The main reason for that is to deploy the software using group policy. I'm starting this video from my GitHub page, and that's because there are a few bits of information here that I will be using for this video, and I will leave the URL in the description down below. Also, here in the bottom of the page you can find more of my videos that are related to this topic. For example, here you can find videos about WiX on how to install it and use it. Then we have a video about psexec, and that's because I will be installing K-Lite Code Pack MSI file that we will be creating under the system account, and that's to make sure that the installation is successful no matter what user I'm using to deploy the software. And now I will begin this video by downloading the executable installation file for K-Lite Code Pack. And I will use the link that I have here that brings us to the K-Lite Code Pack download page, and I will be creating the package for the standard version. So I will click download standard and I will select server 1. Then I will go to my downloads folder, and we see that we have our executable right here. And the last thing that we need is WiX configuration file, and for that I will go back to my GitHub page where I have few configuration files. One is named K-Lite, and this is already finished configuration file that you can check out if you want to. But for this video I will be using the one that's called template. I will click on it, and then I will select this button right here to download the configuration. And I will go back to my downloads folder. I will right click on the configuration and select rename. And I will name the configuration file K-Lite, press enter. And then I will right click once again and I will open it with Visual Studio Code. And as you can see, it's an XML file. Basically, it's instructions for WiX on how to package the MSI file for us. And when working with this configuration file, we only care about this part right here, because here we need to fill in the information that is unique to the K-Lite Code Pack package. And first we need to provide the name for our MSI file. In this case, I will name it K-Lite Code Pack. Then we need to provide the executable name. For that I will go back to my downloads folder, right click on the executable, select rename. I will select the full name to include the extension, because that's very important. I will copy it, go back to Visual Studio and paste in the value right here. Then we need to provide the path, and this is the location where we currently have our executable. And for me it's my downloads folder, and my downloads folder is in D drive. Downloads. I'm pretty sure that the location for you is a bit different. Then we need to provide silent arguments, because we want the installation to happen silently. For that I will go back to GitHub page, and here I have the necessary silent switches for the silent installation. I will select them, copy it, go back to Visual Studio Code and paste in the value. And then the version, and this is version number is for the MSI package and not the software. But in most cases I like to keep them the same, so I will copy the version number from here, paste the value right here, and I will add dot after the 1 and a dot after 78. And then we need to provide a publisher. This is not very important, but it's a mandatory field. So I will enter a value of, let's do automation. And the last thing that we need to provide is GUID, and this is a unique identifier for this MSI package. So for that, once again, go to my GitHub page, and here I have a PowerShell command that generates GUID. So I will select it, copy it, and then I will open a terminal, or you can open PowerShell window. I will paste in the command and press enter. And as you can see, every time that I'm using this command, I'm getting a new unique identifier. So I will select one of the values, go back to Visual Studio Code and paste in the value right here. And this is all the necessary information that we need to provide to generate our MSI package. Now to generate our MSI package, I will go back to my terminal, and here we want to change the location in our terminal to the directory where we have our configuration file. So like I said, for me it's my D downloads folder. So I will type cd d downloads and press enter. If I type there, we can see our K-Lite installation executable and the WiX configuration file right here. Now to generate the MSI file, we need to write WiX build and then provide the configuration file name. So in my case, it's K-Lite.wxs and press enter. And now let's go back to the downloads folder. And as you can see, the MSI file was generated successfully. And now we need to test our MSI file to see if it works correctly. So for that, I will right click on the file, select copy, and go to my VMware workstation where I have a Windows virtual machine prepared. And here I have this software folder, so I'll open it and I will paste in the MSI file that we created. And also, as you can see, I have my psexec executable, and that's because, like I said, I will be executing the K-Lite installation under the system account, and I will use psexec for that. So now we want to open another command line. For that, I will go to my start menu, type cmd, and run as administrator, click yes. Now we want to change our location in our command line where we have our files. So because of that, I will click here and copy the location from this bar. And in my command line, I will type cd, paste in the location, and press enter. If I type there, we can see our K-Lite MSI file and then psexec executable. If I type command who am I, it is saying that this command line is running under the admin user. So now to switch to the system user, I will use psexec. So I will type psexec executable name -I for interactive, -S to launch a process under the system account, and then we need to provide the process that we want to start. In this case, I will be starting another CMD window, so I'll type CMD. I will agree with the license terms, and here we have our new CMD window. But this time, if I type who am I, it is saying that I am in the authority system. So everything that I'm doing in this command line, I'm doing it as a system user. Once again, we want to change our directory in this command line to where we have our files. So I will type cd, paste in the directory, press enter, type there, and we can see our files once again. Now to start the installation, I will type cmd/c. This is not necessary, but it allows us to see when the installation is fully finished just by looking at the command line. Then we need to provide the MSI file name, so it's klite.msi, and let's install it silently. So I will add /qn and press enter. Now let's wait for the installation to finish. The installation seems to be done, so now let's look around and see what happened. First, I will go to my control panel by typing control in the command line, and then I will select uninstall a program, and here we have our software list. And as you can see, we have our K-Lite Code Pack MSI file that we created that's published by Let's Do Automation, and we have the version number right here. And also we have the software itself. And we have two packages because we installed the MSI file and then the MSI file installed the software itself. And it's possible to hide this entry right here that belongs to MSI file. But in most cases, I noticed that when it comes to troubleshooting, if something goes wrong, when the value from here is hidden, it gets unnecessarily hard. So that's why I like to keep it. And now let's see if the media player is working, and for that I will go to my start, all apps, and somewhere here we have our K-Lite Code Pack folder, and I will select Media Player Classic. And it seems to be running just fine. And that's it for this video. Like and subscribe if you want to see more videos like this, and see you in the next one.